What they did was, and it was Edgar's fault too, they wanted complete control. Edgar wanted complete control. Edgar hated Barry Diller. Barry Diller hated Edgar. And at the very end, which I talk about in my show, we had a meeting on a Thursday night when things were really bad. And they said to me, you can stay, your husband goes. I had a Sophie's choice. I was told I could stay. And I said, I go with my husband, thinking they'll never allow it. And they said, then tomorrow night is your last show. And it was. Thursday night to Friday, yeah, in my dressing room, before the show. There is no reaction in the beginning. It's so insane that tomorrow's my last, and I wasn't allowed to say anything on the show because they kept another tape running. And they said, if you say one thing, we will cut you off. It's a very bad time. I've written I have a play now that's about this. It was terrible, terrible. And it was nothing about ratings. The ratings, we made the money from day one. It was about Edgar and Barry Diller. Edgar was wrong. Barry was wrong. Barry put people in there he didn't believe. They said I trashed my office one day. Somebody had come in and said something really stupid. I took an ashtray and I said, oh, fuck, and threw it against the wall. And I called him, I said, I did. He called me up and he said, you have trashed your office. And I said, come over and see. I threw an ashtray. It was that kind of, it was insane. And I blocked a lot of it. It's in my books. I blocked a lot of it. It had nothing to do with ratings. Nothing. And then they put Arsenio on, and he went right into the tubes, right down them. Now, first they put on somebody else. They put on Suzanne Summers. She lasted 3 days. They all think it's so easy. It ain't easy.
I know.
It ain't easy. They put Suzanne on, and then they put on a disc jockey, somebody D's. He lasted 2 weeks, and they put Arsenio on. He was just against us, and I made a sign called the Barry Meter, and I had a picture of the two of us, and I had them cut it in half. And if he wasn't talking to Edgar that day, I moved him away from me. I did like a 1 to 10 thing. If we all just sit down and laugh, it would be fine. Nobody was laughing. I don't know what the fights were about. I don't, to this day, know what the fuck happened. We gave them not the numbers they wanted. I remember the first day we got a 5. Well, of course, America watched. And I remember walking with Barry, he said, we got a 5, and Carson was getting like 6s. And I said, we're not gonna get that right. I mean, they're sampling. But we always got numbers. And we would have gotten, as Fox built, of course we would have built. Of course we would have built. It was not about ratings. And then they destroyed me. So NBC was knocking me because I left Carson. And then Fox put out all these things that I was difficult to work with. I had a reputation for about 10 years. People would say to me, I've heard such bad things about you. I have to have everybody love me in the room. Otherwise I can't work. So it was a rotten time. My husband killed himself over it. Very bad time.
You think that's what led to his
Oh, there's no
suicide?
question about it. Because he knew it was him. He knew it wasn't me. He knew it was Edgar and Barry, and I knew the real story.
Did you have signs at home that Edgar was that
Edgar
despondent?
had a nervous breakdown and went into tremendous depression after a heart attack. And he was losing. Barry and Murdoch, whoever signs your check, as I say in my play, whoever signs your check is your boss. We owed it 50-50. They just stopped the money. Hey, guess we don't owe this 50-50. And Ed got a terrible nervous breakdown. And we went to Ireland. And 3 days later we got back, he killed himself. He couldn't get us out of it. He couldn't fight back. He couldn't pull us out of the rubble.